You apply for a job, you have the experience, you have the qualifications, you even have more years of experience than what they're looking for, and you don't hear back. What just happened? I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach for mid-career professionals, and I've helped hundreds of mid-career professionals land attractive roles. And when they come to me, they see that they have tons of experience, they have the qualifications, but they're not landing interviews. This is very common. And 9 times out of 10, it comes down to what is called the relevance gap. Today, I'm going to show you what this gap is, why it's costing you interviews and offers, and exactly how to close it. Let's go. Here's what the relevance gap is. You have the experience, but it's not obvious to employers. Let me say that again. You have everything that they're looking for, but your resume and other job search documents are not making it clear that you have it. Let me say that again. You have everything that they're looking for, but your resume isn't making it clear that you have what they need and want. So here's the problem. Hiring managers are not sitting there trying to connect the dots. They're not looking at your resume seeing that you have experience doing X, and that would mean that you would probably be able to do Y, which is what they're looking for. They're just not doing that these days. They are scanning hundreds, if not thousands of resumes, and they're looking for the clearest match. If they have to work to connect the dots, they're moving on to the next person. That's the relevance gap, and it's killing your chances of landing interviews. You have to remember, hiring managers don't hire the most experienced person. They hire the person whose experience is easiest to recognize as relevant for the role that they're looking to fill. And unfortunately, this is especially common in mid-career. You have decades of valuable experience, but your resume might be telling an outdated or unfocused story. Here's what I see all the time. Someone has 20 years of experience with multiple industries, multiple companies even, and they try and include everything in their resume. Every project, every responsibility, every accomplishment. And the result is that the hiring manager can't quite figure out what it is that you want to do and what you're best at, because there's just too much information. Or even worse, they may look at your resume and think this person is overqualified, or this person doesn't have the right background for this role, just because they can't see the forest for the trees, even though you're qualified and you can totally do that role. The relevance just isn't coming through. So let me share with you the 3 places where this relevance gap shows up more and how to fix it. Gap number 1 is that your resume bullets don't make the match to the role obvious. But hiring managers are not asking themselves, what did this person do? They're asking, can this person solve our specific problems? So when they see bullets like manage a team of 10, oversaw projects, owned budgets, that doesn't help them decide. A relevant bullet connects your experience directly to the role. For example, led a 10-person team that delivered X outcome. And you want to make that outcome relevant to the role that you're pursuing. So relevance is not about listing everything that you've ever done in your resume and LinkedIn profile. It's about highlighting the right experience with results so that it's obvious that you're relevant and they can see that in seconds. If they have to figure out why you're a fit, you've already lost them, unfortunately. Gap number 2 is you're not speaking their language. This one can be subtle, but it's huge. Let's say the job description talks about roadmap planning, cross-functional collaboration, go-to-market strategy, but your resume says project management, team coordination, and launch execution. You're describing similar work, but you're not using the language that they use to define the role. Hiring managers scan for familiar signals. They have ATS systems that they use that scans for specific phrasing, and if your resume doesn't reflect how they describe the work, you may never get past the first screen. Now, this is not about keyword stuffing at all. It's about translating your experience into the language that they use to describe it so they can immediately see the fit. Gap number 3 is your positioning is unclear. And this is the biggest one. Your resume has to answer this question. What role is this person targeting next? If you're going after a senior marketing role and the top tier of your resume talks about operations, process improvement, and system work, even though these are things you've done in the past, you've missed the mark and you're sending the wrong signal. Hiring managers are not going to dig for context. They're going to scan very quickly. And the story that your resume tells in that first 10-second scan is how you're going to be evaluated. So your resume needs to lead with what's most relevant for what you want to do next, and versus reflecting everything that you've ever done. And here's why appearing overqualified is really a relevance problem. This is where a lot of mid-career professionals get stuck, unfortunately. When a hiring manager says someone is overqualified, what they really mean is this: I don't see a clear fit. I'm worried that this role is not aligned with what they truly want. I'm concerned that they will get bored if we hire them or leave. This is not about having too much experience. It's about unclear positioning. In order to make that overqualification objection disappear, your resume needs to clearly show why this role makes sense to you now and how your background directly maps to what they're looking for. This works extremely well, especially when it is paired with a clear career narrative for your interviews. So how do you fix this relevance gap? Step number 1 is getting clear on your target role. This is really important. You want to know what your priority role is. And if it's 5 or 6 or more different things, you need to do some work to narrow this down so that you can position your experience as relevant for what you're going for. This allows your messaging, the keywords in your document to be consistent and to really land on the other side. There's a saying in business, a confused mind never buys, and it's super relevant here. If your positioning is not clear throughout your entire job search, employers get confused and don't buy, meaning they're not going to hire you. Step number 2, understand what matters for the role. Look at the job descriptions for your target role. What are they emphasizing? What language are they using? What skills and experiences are they looking for specifically? This is not about copying and pasting those keywords into your resume or LinkedIn profile. It's about understanding their priorities and show how your experience aligns with real relevant results that you have delivered. Step number 3 is reframe your resume and also your LinkedIn profile. Go through them and emphasize the experience that's directly relevant for your priority target role. Use their language and show impact, not just tasks and duties. Make it crystal clear how what you've done directly connects to what they need. Reframing your resume and your LinkedIn profile doesn't mean dumbing things down or hiding your experience. It means prioritizing the experience that you have that makes the match obvious. Our client Fiona had 18 years of experience in SaaS and financial services. She was a senior marketing leader. And before we met, she was passively searching and was not getting any traction at all. The problem was that her resume and LinkedIn profile didn't position her for the next role that she wanted. There was definitely a relevance gap there. Once we clarified her positioning, updated her professional brand, her resume and LinkedIn profile, she started getting recruiter interest within a matter of days. We helped her close the relevance gap and she was able to land an offer in only 42 days. The role she landed was a senior marketing operations leader in healthcare. It wasn't that she wasn't qualified before, of course. Once we fixed that, everything changed. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Pull up your resume and look at the top third of it, the part that you see before you scroll down. This is what a hiring official is going to look at first. And now ask yourself this: is it immediately clear what role I'm targeting next? Do these bullets make it obvious how my experience maps to this role? If someone were to spend 10 seconds looking at my resume, would they recognize me immediately as a strong match? If the answer to these questions is no, there is a relevance gap. Here's how to start fixing it. Pick one bullet from your most recent role. Don't just ask yourself, what did I do? Ask yourself, what part of my experience is most relevant to the role that I want? And then you want to rewrite that bullet with that signal. Use the language that employers are using and highlight the outcome you've delivered that is a match for that role and what they're looking for. That's your starting point. Make the match obvious where it matters the most in the top tier of your resume. So the good news is that the relevance gap is 100% fixable. You don't need more experience and you don't need more qualifications. You just need to make it obvious to hiring managers that you can do what they need because you have done similar things before and you have delivered results that are 100% relevant to what they're looking for. Start connecting the dots for them. If you want some help to close the relevance gap, to start landing interviews and offers, I invite you to book a call with us. There's a link below to do that. And subscribe to my channel for advice for mid-career professionals that works.